You want it vertical, yeah?
Yeah. This is how it is on YouTube, I think.
Let me see. What about that? Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. That's how it is. Yeah.
Better.
How are you, Neil?
You know what, Engin? I've been better, mate. Bit of a... Probably everybody's aware I've been off social media for a while. since after the Strongman Classic, really. Just another weird set of times and criteria after East versus West. I got a number of things that have been very distracting, frustrating. I got ill, which was one thing, but that's just, like yourself, terrible cold. Ran it till the wheels came off with strongman events, arm wrestling events, fight shows, which is not a bad thing. I love doing that, and I want to do more. But the problem was they all came super fast when I was ill, and I wrecked my throat pretty bad. So I went to have that looked at, and they just said, "Yeah, you're going to need to give it a couple of weeks to relax." And I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "Basically, don't talk for 2-3 weeks. So just leave it, let it get better." So I've done that, but also within that period of time, that when I was at East versus West, my cousin died. Lad I was very close to, Stephen Mark, died, which was very frustrating, very thought provoking. That kind of stuff, when it is unexpected, knocks you for six a little bit. Another very close personal friend of mine, his son is in a very serious situation with cancer right now. In hospital at the moment, in a very serious condition. And another two of my friends died in quick succession. And I don't know, it was kind of like a bit of a sort of what the moment, when you just what's going on.
You just question everything. Like, is it worth?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what the hell is happening? What's going on?
Very
And all of
yeah.
these weren't expected, The people that died weren't expected. It wasn't expected. It wasn't something you saw coming, or you thought, yeah, that's been coming for a long time. They weren't people that were particularly old, in their late 40s in one case, early 50s in another case. My cousin Stephen in his early 60s. But yeah, just put me on my ass a bit, mate. Pissed me off and flatlined my enthusiasm for a little while. But look, life is life. That's what happens.
Yeah.
And,
it sounds like classical word, but it is how it is,
Yeah, there is no way around it, no way through it. If you look at 2024, maybe the worst year I've ever had, actually. In terms of, it's right up there in terms of cumulatively bad. Certainly, there are things in other years, there are bad things that have happened in your life, but this is one where it's just been one thing after another, where you're like, what the fuck is going on? Somebody put the brakes on here. But look, in other areas, it's extremely positive. It's really good, and you got to be thankful for that. So I'm not going to stay down about it. I'm not staying away from doing everything, and I'm back in the mix, mate. I'm looking forward actually to, as you can probably hear, everybody who's been speaking to me privately in the last period of time will realise my voice is coming back.
Yeah.
My throat is getting better. My next event, I had 2 fight shows that I've cancelled. I just rang the organizer and said, look, I'm not going to do these, because if I do, I'm going to mess myself up and maybe create some damage. And my priority at the moment is the big arm wrestling events. Obviously, East versus West is my favourite event. I love doing the shows. I love them. They're just a lot of fun to me. It's like it's the right way of saying it. It's like you're involved in the show, but you're also a fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I listen. I organize, and I'm the fan.
And you're a fan. And you
Yeah,
bloody yeah.
yeah.
And
I
that's what I
mean,
mean. It's just sort of like so many times I find myself there. I do it with Arm Wars. I do it with East versus. I don't do it with many events, but with what I like about East versus West is when I'm, when we're up there at the press conference, when we're days before the events, I find myself
mhm.
analysing matches privately in my own mind, switching
Yeah, yeah.
backwards and forwards, seeing guys in reception and thinking, oh, I don't know how this is going to go. So many examples at the last event.
But
I was
Neil, you had been
sorry, go
doing
for it.
this. You had been doing this long before you were an organizer. Like when there is something
Yeah,
30 years ago, you were doing the same thing in your head. When you were
yes,
competing, when you know there is a big match, you were doing that. So it doesn't matter what you are doing right now. It is
mm.
how you are. It's how I am. Whenever we see a match, we already start thinking about it. Yeah.
And it's I just want to look. I got some funerals coming up, so we got back-to-back funerals that I'm going to attend, obviously, and then when the funerals are behind us, blinkers on and the next stage, go forward. And the next event I've got is East versus West 10 in Orlando, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm really really looking forward. I love that card. I love so many of the guys on there. Also, the collection of great arm wrestlers there. Obviously, your guess. One of them's just popped up there. One of my favourite guys in the sport, my boy, The Rhodes. Cobra, how you doing, brother? Love Cobra.
Yeah, yeah,
What an arm wrestler. What a dude. What an hombre.
yeah,
What a character that guy is.
yeah.
And
Cobra
he's my friend.
says arm sports. Yes, yes, brother. Yeah. Cobra is one of those special guests.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
Yeah,
Um,
many people doesn't know about Jerry Jennings. They don't know.
no,
Like some of them knows Chet Silvers, but some don't know how
no.
great arm wrestler and
Oh, mate, I remember watching
Jerry
Chad.
Jennings. Like for example, like does people know that Jerry Jennings was 5'7"
Yeah.
against Dave Patton? That Dave Patton
Yes.
beat him 7 times, but he also beat Dave Patton five
Yeah.
times. It's vice
Vice
grip.
grip.
Yeah,
Dude, super strong. And,
yeah.
I haven't seen Jerry in a very long time. Very long time. I'm trying to
Yeah,
think when actually. Very long time. One of the early WAFs, late 80s, 90s WAFs, I think.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah. I
Houston. When
think
was that?
last time he competed was in 1992, Switzerland.
Yeah, Geneva. That is when it was.
I think he won, and the second was Frank Walkuski, and the
Yeah,
third was Haidar.
mate. That is. Oh, Hyder was great there. What an event that was. I mean, unbelievable. Even Geneva '92 was an unbelievable show. You had guys there like Nir Harel, Zauer was good there. Um, I mean, so many. We had a guy, Rambo, Rod Lynette. Rod is no longer with us. God rest him. Rod was so strong, super powerful lad in a hook. He pulled Cobra there in Geneva. Cobra's probably in the chat. Cobra had a match with Nir Harel of Israel, Baby Sharon, Stonewall, and God damn, I loved that match. What a
I think
match!
the Cobra's best match was there against Gimi Meravishvili.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's also no longer
I
with us.
think they had a long match.
Super twice, mate. They had two. The final and the heat were both super long, and Cobra just popped him and just held him there and was trying to finish. Mate, unbelievable match.
Yeah,
Unbelievable match.
Cobra, you are in the chat? Can you tell us who was the third place guy that you made Gimi Meravishvili tired? Long match, and then
It was
still
wasn't it
in this.
Stark,
Yeah,
USA,
yeah.
Eric
That
Stark.
yeah, and still
Huge biceps, Eric.
still Gimi Meravishvili still beat him
Still beats
quicker.
ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cobra
It
bound
was
for a
80
little.
kilo category. The Cobra usually
That's right.
push 75. Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy, they were great events, mate. Some of the matches there, holy, unbelievable matches, mate. Geneva was a great event. I loved it. Great event.
Yeah. So yeah, as you said, life is just like things happen to me in 3 weeks. Like I was like, especially when I finally fell, slided and hit the head. I was like, like I thought it was it. Just like it was really terrible. And
Mate,
and I
I
thought that
thought it
like
was a joke.
right now when I even take shower, I'm thinking that like okay, something is gonna happen because that 3 weeks,
Yeah.
one after another, many
When
things have.
Chance Shaw told us that, I thought he was joking. I went like, yeah, sure. Like literally, like thought he was joking. And he said, no, really, Neil. He's fallen and hit his head. He's at the hospital. I'm like, you are kidding me, man. He's like, no.
I
I
wasn't
couldn't
gonna
believe
go.
it.
I wasn't gonna go to the dinner. I said maybe I would do some filming and do some promotion. And I had the sleepers. You remember how it was raining that day?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then and then the restaurant is just open everywhere.
Yes.
The grilling place. And then one feet just slided. I tried to do break with the other one. That one to both legs went up, and then the head hit to the table or the barbecue table, like the lights were boom, just like everything was, and then I also hit to the floor, and I was like, oh, okay, just like that I can't handle anymore.
No, it was ridiculous. I mean, when you showed up, I knew you'd come, incidentally, but when you showed up with the neck brace and stuff, I thought, mate, this is ridiculous. The just one thing after another. Tremendous effort that week from Ray Lipinge.
Yeah,
He was awesome. Anna Gronland,
yeah, and
really
Devon,
working her ass off.
Devon
Super
also,
stress. No
Devon,
limits was amazing.
yeah,
Devon
yeah.
showing that he'll throw himself into any role, and he was. So just great. And also, if you looked at the outcome of the show of the event itself, some of the matches there were unbelievable. Obviously my favorite has got
Sasha
to be
versus
David
Samusha,
Samosha.
yeah.
Um,
Listen,
what a
Neil,
match!
how to beat
What a
that
match,
guy? How to beat that guy?
mate! Dream match of all time. Talk about it. Fadzinoff. He is Fadzinoff. Fadzinoff is him. I mean, they are the same guy.
I
Different
mean,
style, slightly,
Fazino
but
is
just
kind of.
one of those guys that doesn't look so imposing. Samosha doesn't look incredibly imposing. You don't look at him and realize how good that guy is. Oh, he's so good.
But do you
Oh,
realize that he was bigger than usual? Whenever I
oh yeah,
saw him,
much.
yeah, whenever I saw him, okay, he's different now because he's playing
Yeah,
Sasha. And
yeah.
about the Fazino, I would prefer to pull Samusha than pulling against Fazino. Fazino was much taller, and his hand and wrist on top rollable.
On
Like,
top rollable.
yeah, just tell me one thing. Like, you are in your prime. Would you
Mm.
prefer to pull Fazino or Samusha? I'm sure Samusha you would want to pull.
Definitely Samosha, because
Yeah.
I know that I could have top rolled Samosha. Could I have finished him? I don't know. Probably not. But you had a chance to top roll him. Fadzinoff? I don't think so. I don't think so.
No,
The
no, no.
interesting thing is,
I mean,
could
who
Fadzinoff
top roll Fazino?
have
No,
beaten?
nobody top roll Fazino. I
I don't
mean,
remember ever seeing him top rolled.
no, I mean even Taras when he beat him, he was like a dragging, like half hook,
Hey,
not top
and in the open class of the Worlds, 2001 Italy, Fadzinoff beat Taras, knocked him out. Knocked him out.
Yeah, but the next year at the 86 kilo Europeans, Czech Republic, Taras
Yes,
he beat Taras once and Taras beat him
Taras
twice.
beat him
But
twice.
but, but
Yeah,
it was not top roll. It was not
and
top roll.
apparently he shouldn't have been in that class. These are all old stories, but I was told that he had some issue at the Russian nationals, and his weight was only 77 kilos. Speaking to
Who?
Misha afterwards, Fadzinoff. He's in
Where?
Czech Republic. He weighed 77 kilos. Apparently, that was
No,
his
no,
weight. That's
no.
what he told me. Seriously.
No, no,
So I
no.
asked
The,
him. I
the
said,
guy is just
What
so
are you doing
tall.
in that
Like
class?"
he's like 185, and he was pulling 86 kilo.
Yes, but
Anyways,
his weight was 77 kilos.
I don't believe that. I
But
mean,
he
not
told
to
me.
you. I mean, maybe translation misunderstanding or something because the guy was huge. He beat Niazi there. Like,
Yes.
and the year before, at the Worlds. He and Niazi had a very tough match.
Oh,
And
very good match in
yeah,
Italy.
and then
And
Niazi lost on
Semerenko.
fouls.
Semerenko and Niazi.
Yeah, but in the qualification round, also Gennady and Semerenko also had a good match. Yeah.
Mate, let's talk about the Wolf, Kurt Niazi, right, for a minute.
Yeah.
Because there's another guy. What an absolutely magnificent arm wrestler Kurt Niazi is.
Yeah.
I mean, even now,
I think easily I can say that he was one of the best topplers, you know.
oh mate,
His pronation
phenomenal. One of the best arm wrestlers, in my opinion. Just such a smart arm wrestler. Protects his hands so well. And what a lovely, lovely man. What a fantastic man that is. You know, when we come to Pendic and we walk around, we have some time. I went to get a tie. And I wanted a tie that was Turkish colours. Okay. So I went into one of the dress shops. There's some wonderful formal dress shops there where you can buy many suits and things like that. So I walked into the shop and the guy said, "Oh, he had a young man there, maybe 18 years old, and he came out and he was translating for me to the older guy, and he said, "Oh, what my father asks, what do you need the tie for?" And I said, "Oh, I'm here working on the arm wrestling show in Pendic." And he said, "Arm wrestling?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "My friend is an arm wrestler, very good arm wrestler." I said, "Oh, Engin, Terzi," and he said, "No, Niazi, Kurt." And I said, "Oh, I know Niazi well." And he said,
Pendic is where Niazi is from, like where we organize the event. That is where Niazi grew up, you know, where he's from. Yeah,
they loved him. He called out many guys, maybe 5 guys came out into the shop to tell stories about Niazi. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great.
You would hear a lot of crazy stories about him. Yeah,
He's ace. What a guy. Yeah, Niazi.
I mean,
What a man.
if we talk about the past, wow, there's a lot to talk. And there is handful people, and probably you are the best guy that I can talk about everything from the past. You know, not many people,
Hopefully we're not boring everybody. I don't know. I can't see the chat,
I
but
don't know.
listen, guys,
To
if
me,
we're
it's
boring as hell, I'm sorry.
incredible. To me, it's incredible because I mean, listen, like arm wrestling did not start 3 years ago or something. You understand? Like
No.
it has been there a long time, and last 30-35 years, we witnessed everything. So that is like when we start talking about Jerry Jennings, you know, like people probably don't know about him, and then like probably when I invite him, people like, who's this, you know? But I
Yeah.
mean, in his time, I still think that he's one of the best 70 kilo ever. One of the best.
Oh yeah,
Maybe not the best, but one
mega
of them.
strong. Mega. Jerry was iron, mate. And you know, Dave Patton, unbelievably strong.
Yeah, Jerry. I remember Jerry and Dave Patton's brother Ray Patton in 1990 Houston Waff Wars. They had like 3 minutes match, and Jerry won, and then he pulled Dave Hicks, another very long match, and then he beat him as well, and he won. Like long matches, you know. Jerry could pull forever.
Was
And
Houston not 91?
No, 91 is Israel. 90 was Houston, Texas.
Yeah, 90 Texas,
Yeah,
Israel.
89 Greece, 88 Sweden, 87
Yeah,
England.
yeah, Eskilstuna, 88. And in at Geneva, 92. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Other tall, slim Israeli guy, 70 or 75 kilo. You remember the guys? Oh, what's his name? I'd never seen him before. He was
There is
very.
a super chat GB19. Neil is an arm wrestling comeback, a possibility to you. I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you something, right? This last shit period of time, 3-4 weeks, has made me think about a lot of things. Okay, and we're going to do an arm wars in first week of October, and I'm going to arm wrestle there.
Against who?
I don't know. But I'm just going to see if I don't even know whether I can do a match But we're gonna do a dark card, and I'm gonna arm wrestle. I'm gonna compete there. I'm having more therapy. I went to have my today. I went to see a company called Proactive, who do magnetic pulse therapy. And I had intensive magnetic pulse therapy. The Arm Wars channel members, and we'll put a film out for people publicly on Arm Wars as well. We'll get a chance to see this, and we'll have the doctors and so on who were involved with that explain it, so you can find out what's going on. But I was just thinking, look, I can stay there and never know, or I can find out, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to find out, and it's not a sort of look. I can come back and be strong. I don't know whether I can or I can't, but I'm just going to have a go. I'm just going to pull a match. We'll see. And then one aspiration that I've got, if I could ever get strong again, I'd love to pull John one more time.
Mm-hmm.
That will be a guy. Myself and John talked about it last year. If I could ever get, I wouldn't try and do it now because it'd be an insult. But if I could get strong again, to a point where I thought I could do anything at all, or even make him feel that I was there, I would love to pull John again. You never know. Maybe me and you, Engin.
Yeah.
Do it.
Somebody wrote that East versus West 77 kilo lowest. No, my friend. Now 70 kilo category we have. We made 75 up to 77 so that it wouldn't be so close to 70 right now. 70, 77, 85, 95, 105. Did you see the match I announced today?
I did not.
Alijan Muradov versus Ivan Matushenko. 115 kilo world title match.
Oh, that's another good one.
Good one, huh?
Yeah.
I already have 4 world title matches, but they will be crazy. I'm not gonna announce them, but
Probably Alijan. I've got Alijan. Probably. Yeah, I've got stylistically. I think Alijan is favorite.
You know, the thing is that Alijan is an offensive puller, while Matushenko is also offensive puller because with his wrist isolation, everything, you know. So let's see how it will be if Matushenko puts Alijan in a losing position. Will Alijan be able to bring him back?
So here's a question for you: were you surprised by the match? Not the outcome, but by the match with Morozov?
Matushenko Morozov?
Yeah. Were you surprised by that? Did he do better than you thought he was going to do?
Yes, I was surprised. Yeah. Yeah.
See, I think when we were traveling to the venue, I was in the same car. Myself and Ivan were in the same car, and I want to say that he wasn't lacking confidence, but he wasn't confident. He didn't. I think he genuinely saw himself as an underdog, and not for the cameras, not for the notoriety, for the principle or honor of the thing. I genuinely believe that Ivan didn't see himself as the favorite. And I thought he did really well. I think Morozov is a magnificent arm wrestler. And I think Matyushenko is definitely one of my top 10 arm wrestlers of all time, in my guys who I personally really, really like. And I'll tell you why. I think he's very unique. I think he's very understated in terms of a little bit like what we're talking about with Fadzinov and David Samusha. He doesn't look so impressive, and yet his ability is magnificent. He's
Matushenko is always Matushenko.
Incredibly.
Only today I chat with him at least 30 minutes.
What a great guy he is.
By messaging, but the guy really he underestimates himself as well.
Yes.
He's just like he's not acting. He's just like how he is. You know, he's not humble either. It's not like being humble is a different thing. He just analyzes himself as, but he's not stupid. He's smart.
No,
you know, he knows his abilities, but he is not overconfident. You know, he knows. Like today, he said, "Oh, people think that my right arm is very good, just because I beat Kamil. And I said, your right arm is very good for 115 kilo, maybe not for super heavyweight. And he's like, my level is probably around Dadikian and Sago. And I said, those guys are the top guys, like, I mean,
They're
if you are at that level,
mega.
it means that you're up there, just like top.
See,
top.
you just named a match right there. I know it's East versus West, but you named a match right there that I absolutely love. Ibrahim Sagov and Machishenko. Wow, I love that match.
Yeah,
I love
it's
that
like
match.
two Russians. It's possible, but right now I think that he needs to a little bit rest. He had some shoulder issue. That is
Mm,
why he didn't compete. So I want him to be totally ready. Hermes has some
yes,
shoulder issue as well. I talked with
really.
him. I said, Hermes, you need to be ready and then pull, because like
Yeah,
you can't afford that you have pain and you lose a match because of that. You really need to be careful and make
yeah,
sure that you are 100% ready. We will see. We will see. Just like, I mean, listen, Neil. I love what's happening. You understand?
yes.
I love that. Like all. There has never been a time that worlds, I can say 90%, 95% of the best
Hmm.
are in the same league and then competing against each other. It's just like, you
This is
understand?
a and the thing is, it's not
Did,
just.
did, did you call it Jurassic Park the other day?
I think for me that's what it is. I think I don't know whether people are appreciative of the level. There has been times in history when we've had magnificent arm wrestlers together in many promotions. The Yukon Jack was one. We in
Mm,
Arm Wars have done things like that, but
mm,
there's never been a time for me where professional one-on-one super match arm wrestling for an extended period of time across multiple weight classes has been able to access the best of the East, the best of the West en masse and pull them together. And with all due respect to the West, at the moment, the power balance lies heavily in the East. But it's nice to see that challenge, and it's nice to see that extended where people get the opportunity to see the most popular, the most iconic arm wrestlers compete so regularly. And for someone like me, who's a purist and a fan of the sport, ultimately, uh, it's bloody awesome. I
yeah,
absolutely love it.
yeah.
I genuinely love being at the shows and on the build up to the show, spinning over in my mind outcomes, scenarios, who can do what, where it's going to go. And during the match, a lot of the time when I'm commentating the match, I'm looking for the nuance. I'm looking for the evolution of the arm wrestling match, and that's what I personally love. I really do, and I can't wait. And it's that kind of feeling and excitement that's led me to do what I said I'm going to do a moment ago, where I'm just going to arm wrestling in October and see what happens. And then if it's positive, awesome, and I'll try and build from there. If it's not, so be it, and I'll try and build from there. My schedule's immoral, so I'm not really going to be able to train much going in there, and I'm not really bothered. I just want to see, can I arm wrestle for a match? Oh, but before we go any further as well, I just want to say I've received so many messages from people just checking in and saying, "Hey Neil, you've been away. You're not doing the fix. You're not doing the. Is everything okay?" I just want to say thank you to everyone. I mean, guys like Brad Butler. Let's pick Brad Butler as one. Today, he's one of the guys, and there's been at least 9 that come to mind straight off the bat that are regulars on all the chats. You see them everywhere. If I turned on, I haven't got the chat up here, but if I had, I'm sure they're probably in here. And guys like that who genuinely care about you, message you. I just want to say thank you. Thanks very much, guys, for the support, for all the guys who support myself, Arm Wars, East versus West, King of the Table, the sport of arm wrestling, and they genuinely are within the sport. They love it, and thank you all for all you guys that do that.
I was thinking
Appreciate
that you didn't do fix. I thought that for two reasons. I didn't know that you had these difficulties until yesterday. I think you wrote to me a message. I thought it was because of the shows that you are doing, the other shows, you know.
That is true. There were three of them in 3 weeks.
Secondly, I thought because when you came to Istanbul, you said you have a problem with your throat. I
Yes,
thought that you were resting, you know, like
correct.
But I will tell you one thing: without you making a program, you know, it is not only the YouTube program. Just you are much more than that. And without you, like a lot of like big part is missing. Like this community needs you. You understand? Because
Thank you, brother.
it is because like you are not replaceable. It is not because you are my friend or you are my guest right now. I have been saying this for many years. Like like if you look at your career, all career, you know, as a world champion arm wrestler, as a fan, and then arm war events, and then Eurosport, and then you go to any major like arm wrestling tournament. Neil Pickup was a part of it. If there is an event, and if Neil Pickup is not part of it, something is missing with that event, no matter how good it is. So no, I'm telling you as a, you know, like someone who loves arm wrestling. So just you are like for the community, like one of those father figures, you know, that
Thank you.
when I say father figures, it's because like oh that 35 years old past, you understand the past that you
Mate,
have. Yeah.
if that's the case, so be it. And what I would say is I need the sport also. So arm wrestling is part of my DNA. It's what I've always done. It's what I've always been involved in, and it's what I love the most. There's other sports that I do. I do combat sports. I do strength sports. Strength sports is my heartland.
Mhm.
I love strength sports. I've loved strength since I was a baby.
Mhm.
And arm wrestling, strongman, lifting, strength in general is within me. It's within my DNA. It's where I've always felt most at home. And without that, a massive part of me as a person would be missing. And I was very moved, very touched by, as I say, guys like Brad Butler and the other guys that have written to me. Very moving, very humbling that people take the time. Donna's picked up some messages and forwarded them on to me and stuff as well.
Mhm.
It works with me as she does some of PA stuff, and that's been very very warming when people have sent messages over to me in that respect. And I do get forwarded some of them, and I do get them. Some of them come through to me directly, or they get forwarded on by day. And either way, I appreciate everything. Uh, Even if I'm unable to get back straight away, I will always try to do that when I get a minute to do it. You know, but when I'm on something like this, and I don't know how many people are watching right now, but anybody that sees this, I just wanted to say that thank you, and I'll be back with the fix. I got the message tonight for Engin. I love coming on the shows and talking to Engin. We'd do this if we were at a competition somewhere. We'd bloody go and talk about arm wrestling
And
for
you know what's
ages anyway.
interesting? You and I, we can be talking about arm wrestling in the past every year, and we will be talking about the same exact things, and we will be talking like first time we are talking. That we will be.
Yeah,
But do you know
yeah,
why? Do you know
yeah.
why? Because we miss those days. We miss those days, and every time
So
we
much.
remember those days, that the smile
Mm.
comes to our face with
Yeah.
the joy, you know, because those years they were like also very valuable, you know,
Mm.
years. And yeah.
It's funny, mate. It's funny you say that because sometimes, you'll hear a song, a music track will come on. Have you got anybody in the chat? I wish I could see the chat. I need to be able to get the chat on, but I can't see it. I'll try again in a minute.
No,
Um,
I don't suggest you to look at the chat. They are all just saying
how am I
bad
getting?
things.
Are we boring people? So I hope not. I'm genuinely
No,
sorry,
no,
but
no.
I was in the car the other day. Music song, and it's funny. It evokes memories. You'll get a memory and a timeline that is associated with a song. And it's not necessarily you end up you love the song, and it's not necessarily that you love the song. It's that you love the memory, the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah. You're right. Yeah.
and
You're right.
it's funny how that happens. A
But
song can
you guys have much more memories than I do have, because I was just coming there for a mission with a super discipline. I was competing and then finishing and then going to bed and then sleep while
yeah.
you guys were partying and then joking and this. I miss all those parts. It was like
Oh.
98%. It was a mission for me. I didn't even know what people were talking. What was going on? Nothing. Especially
Mhm.
before the social media, I had no idea like what people were thinking. You understand?
Listen,
And
if anybody in the chat right now, if you've not seen the episodes of In the Presence of Greatness, which we haven't finished, incidentally, Engin, we got to do that.
yeah,
If
yeah.
you've not seen the In the Presence of Greatness episodes that we've got with Engin, you need to go and check those out. Funny, oh my god, fantastic stuff. Some of the stuff that Engin recounts in that is just, oh mate. Some of the legends. I mean, the guys that were in here earlier, from Cobra, Jerry Caderet, John, Devon, Marcio, right through to newer guys that are stars and characters. I like real characters, guys who are unique. And if you look in the sport now, certainly for the West, you've got. I mean, Paul Lynn would be one now. Who's a genuine character. Justin Bishop, right, the Bama Bull. He's coming back into it at East versus West. Fucking love that guy, right? Justin's awesome. Rob Vigent, love that guy. And why? Because if you look at Justin and you look at Rob, they are genuine, absolute characters. There's no, they are that guy. You meet that guy in the reception at the hotel. You meet that guy on a building site in friggin' Alabama or in a donut shop on a resort. That's the guy. I was speaking to Rob earlier tonight, and what a guy! What an hombre! Love him. And anybody in the sport who's a real character, fantastic. Cobra Rhodes. I mean, you talk about memories of events, dude. Some of the stuff, I don't know how much memory of it Cobra's got, because he wasn't necessarily mentally present throughout a lot of it. But some of the stuff I remember in Virginia Beach with Cobra Rhodes, oh my god, with a straw hat on, with a flower in the straw hat. That's James trying to ring me, James Statham. I'll ring him back. Straw hat with a flower in it, wedged himself into a door in a bar, and there's a couple of bouncers trying to pull the dude out of the door. Oh my god, fantastic memories.
Cobra, like today would be incredibly popular because Cobra was 30 years ago. He was the superstar
Oh yeah,
already. He was like a movie star,
the
like with
first,
his
the first, the
yeah,
first
yeah,
superstar of arm
yeah,
wrestling,
yeah, yeah.
the original, without doubt. He was the first. When you came to, he was the first of the brash, cocky ass Americans, more full of himself than a Russian doll, and could back it up. So when I was a kid, I'm like 12, 13. How old was I in Eskilstuna? In Sweden, there was him, Axon. There's a couple of guys knocking about. And when I first saw him, I think I was 12. And I was
He
like,
was not in Sweden, but he was in Greece.
he was also in Crystal Palace in London at the Bus Emporium. I think I was 12. And I walked in and he was just smashing people. In Greece, he was smashing people. Everywhere you saw him, and I'm like, who the is that guy? And I thought he was the coolest bastard ever. I just thought, okay, he's fucking awesome. I got in trouble with Team Great Britain for cheering for Cobra when he was pulling one of the British guys, because I was a kid and I'm cheering for the coolest bastard in the room, and he was that guy. And Cobra, when I was like 13 years of age, Cobra was arrogant, brash, cocky bastard. Treated me like a. I mean, he treated me with huge respect when I was a puppy, when I was a kid. He didn't need to do, but he did, and that always. I don't even know whether he remembers me. I was a kid, but it
Somebody
always
wrote that.
sticks in my mind.
Somebody wrote that I love the episodes with Neil, Devon, Travis, and Engin. whenever I read
Oh, in
this,
the presence.
I remember that Travis owes me $1 million and he had to send his kid to me, right?
Yeah.
Listen, that day, Michael, Devon, and Travis, they all were organized just to make me look bad. You understand? But
Ha!
I proved all of them wrong. When
Oh, mate.
Rambet just came to the phone, and later John, and
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, when you said the first time you said, well, Ron did it for, and I'm like, he's right. Like, I know that Ron had done it. I was like, he's right. And yeah. But those were, like you say, it's those memories. It's going back. Those times they're irreplaceable, mate. They're irreplaceable. They really are. And Cobra at that time, if you pick Cobra up and you drop him into today's that version of Cobra into, I mean, he looked nothing. Cobra was just a wiry, sinewy dude. Looked like his clothes had nothing in them. You know, just friggin' baggy ass clothes, nothing in them. Strong as, oh, so powerful, mate. So strong,
yeah.
so sinewy, just an absolute weapon. And if you look at Vladikavkaz in '99, oh,
By the way, Neil, who can beat this guy, Samusha?
who
Is
can beat David right now?
can I ask you another thing? I will
I
ask you
don't know.
another thing. I will ask you another thing. What do you think about? Do you think that Devon versus Petrenko 105? Like, what do you think about this match?
I mean, Devon. If Devon is Devon, if Devon is focused, if Devon is mentally prepared, Devon would win the match, in my opinion. Devon is an extraordinarily unusual man. And I don't think a lot of people in the arm wrestling community appreciate that. Devon on Monday is not Devon on Thursday, he's not Devon on Friday. Devon sort of decides where he is on any given day through commitment, effort, mission before self. And that when he shows up and he's ready and he's prepared, he's the best of men. When that guy shows up and he's fit for purpose, within
Hmm.
reason, he is extremely difficult to defeat. The fact that he is as good as he is now, with the damage mentally and physically that he's endured and that he puts himself into the line of fire week in, week out, is remarkable. One of the things, we talk about the sort of any man on any given day. I would love to be able to pick a day in my mind and pick up that person and drop that person into the Shark Tank of East versus West now to see the outcome of it.
What's that?
Uh, if you could, let's say I could pick dates when I've seen you at your best, Svetan at their best, Andreas Rundstrom at their best, Johnny Walker at his very best, Bill Brazink, John Brazink, Ron Bath at their very best, and pick these guys up and put them at a certain time. Cobra at his best. So many magnificent arm wrestlers that we've seen, and bring these guys at their peak and put them into certain match scenarios. And that's what I would love to be able to do. The man that I would love to do that with and experiment with a lot would be the 2008 version of Devon that pulled the deep water and beat John. That man was a special guy. Let me tell you now, special guy. That was a very, very
Yeah.
strong version of Devon Larratt. Very
Neil.
extremely mobile,
Yeah.
aggressive,
Yeah.
attacking version.
I want to also ask you because we are almost like 40 minutes. Um,
Wow, that's getting
about
good.
the yeah already 40 minutes. Yeah, probably 30 whatever. Anyways, let me see there how many minutes. Oh no, it is 44 minutes that I have been. Yeah, 44 minutes. Anyway, so let's talk about. I mean, if it was up to me, I would talk with you 2 hours only the past. But yeah, I would like to also know your opinions.
Try my best.
You know about Hunter, the new guy.
Hunter Noss.
Yeah,
I
and
know
he.
what I've seen. I've never pulled Hunter. I've never trained with Hunter. I've never practiced with Hunter. So if you were to say me, do I know Hunter? Not really. I know of him. I know of his body of work to date. I've studied him. I've watched him, but I can't really speak about him with authority, in my opinion.
So you think who's gonna win, Douglas or him?
I would go with Doug Ehrlich at the moment.
Okay.
But I believe Hunter is on the climb still. I think if Doug is fully fit, which I understand from Doug he is, I need to catch up with Doug. Actually, Doug's contacted me a couple of times. Contacted me once when I was actually at the hospital for other reasons. It was a pretty bad time. I need to get back to Doug. Doug, sorry for not responding, brother. Hope you're well. It'll be very interesting for me to understand more about Hunter Noffs in this situation because I've got a pretty good understanding of Doug's strengths, weaknesses, mental game. Have you done the show yet where you interview both men?
Oh, I was still ill, and then Raymond's helping me, Malin helping me with the interview. So
Okay.
Raymond's did the interview with them, yeah. And if
And
we talk
what
about
was the dynamic like, mate? Who was showing who was most confident in themselves?
no, I think I did the Hunter Douglas. Sorry, my friend. Just my mind is going. Yeah, I mean, like Hunter looks very relaxed. I remember now. He looks very relaxed and he's laughing. He's confident.
Yep.
Douglas is also confident, but he was just a bit aggressive. Like he's like, I'm gonna give you a lesson, So you are good, but it's not your time.
Mm-hmm.
And we will see. Like a lot of people in North America, they just wanted to see this match.
Yep.
So I said this match. So Artem Taranenko is gonna pull Mindaugas Tarasaitis.
Yes.
I,
Yes.
I know I know that you are Mindaugas fan,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of believe that you probably think that Mindaugas is heavily favorites.
And this is a right hand match, correct?
Yes, right hand. Yeah, but I
Yes.
will tell you something. Lately, whenever I watch the events that Taranenko competed, his right arm is doing better than his left.
Artem's got a great right arm, great left arm. Artem's a good arm wrestler. He's solid. My concern for Artem is the mastery of the hand and wrist and being able to unlock and break through Mindaugas and to turn to palm up Mindaugas is going to be very difficult. Mindaugas
He
is the
does
smaller
that
man.
that kind of weird move.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mindaugas is very hard to bully. I find it difficult to back against Mindaugas because I've got a massive familiarity with how difficult Mindaugas is to dominate. Does Artem have a chance? Sure, yeah. He's strong. He's got a lot
He's
of
the
power.
bigger guy.
Bigger guy, probably more physically strong.
Yeah, 10 kilo heavier.
Yeah. I believe that Mindaugas is a very difficult man to beat and a very difficult man to beat multiple times. And I've seen Mindaugas beat and also watched Mindaugas pull in training with some very, very strong, very, very capable arm wrestlers and do well, you know. Backstage, when the cameras aren't rolling, you see things, you watch how he can handle people in a way that is not his sweet spot. And he's a very, very capable arm wrestler.
So what's your prediction?
I'm going Mindaugas, and I'm going Mindaugas probably in a sweep or losing one pin and then sweep. I think if you beat Mindaugas early, he will amend and adjust. The best opportunity there, the best option for Artem is to make it the ugliest, most horrific dogfight of a match he possibly can, to turn it into a real battle, to take away any finesse. It's very hard to do that with Mindaugas, so I'm going Mindaugas, and I think Mindaugas wins
Okay.
with a pretty impressive fashion.
And Justin Bishop versus Yanis Amalians.
Oh, mate. I tell you what, that's one of those matches that's so
Do you
entertaining.
follow the social media? Did you see Justin how he looks and everything?
No, I have not. For this last, is Justin still very active on social media at the moment? I haven't spoken to Justin personally, and Justin is one of the guys that I really love. That guy, Justin's a great bloke. I need to call Justin. Justin's a great guy. I can not see Justin for a year and walk into a room, and if Justin's there, I can sit down, have a drink with Justin, and I will bang straight back into the mix with Justin and talk to that dude all night. He is a great guy.
Do you remember his match with Mindaugas 3-2?
Yes, mate. What a
And
match!
then
What a great match!
yeah, it
Great
was
match.
very close one. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that match. You know, Justin's wrist and hand when he's on, and Justin is a very. I mean this in the. Let's break this down a little bit, right? So you got Justin Bishop, who owns his own business, is extremely dedicated to that. Is a very family orientated, clean cut dude, extremely professional working man, and he's as raw as hell. On the opposite side of the coin, you've got the Jedi, who
Yeah.
is arguably the most professional of the professional in terms of preparation and arm wrestling presence, prowess, polish, magnificently conditioned. I mean, magnificently conditioned. You got to remember, this is a guy who's by no means is Giannis in the peak of his career. He just isn't. Sorry, Giannis, but he's not. And yet he's still a physical specimen. I think that Justin, if Justin comes in very focused, very ready, he's had a his if Justin's work hasn't been killing him, he's not been doing God knows how many hours in the sun providing for his family, and he comes in there and he has been able to focus time, and he has been able to dedicate, and he's very much in his arm wrestling. He's going to be a very tough proposition physically. I think he's the physically stronger man in some of the key areas, particularly hand and wrist. And I think that's interesting because it could create a situation a little bit like we saw when they first met and Justin shocked people at the UAL. Because the situation you end up with there is where you're potentially seeing Giannis have to chase the match a little if he can't dominate the match on his hand and wrist. Now, Giannis is a lot more complete as an arm wrestler than people think he is. Because a lot of the tools in his toolbox he doesn't get out of the bag because he never has to. Because he can beat you exactly how he wants to beat you. And I kind of would like to see Justin and Giannis both struggle. I'd like to see both men in a dogfight, both men tested, where they got to think a little and show how good they are, because I believe both men are very good. I believe both men are capable of more than people possibly imagine. And I love that match. And it's one that I can be completely unbiased in because these are two of my favourite guys, personally. I hope they have a barnstormer, and I think it should be a great match. I'm very excited about that match. I
So
love
you are
that match.
saying a match with 50-50 or what?
50-50, mate, yeah. That can go
Okay.
either way.
Okay.
And one of the reasons that I'm a little more on the fence with that is I haven't spoken to Justin or seen Justin or heard from Justin since East versus West, honestly. So I
I
need to
mean,
call him or
right
something
now
and see where he's at.
he looks huge.
Really?
Yeah,
And
he looks.
what weight is the match at? 85?
No. The match is 77 kilo, but you
Hmm.
know some athletes are 77 kilo on the scale, and then 81, 82 kilo on the competition time. I think possibly this group of people, Douglas, Justin,
Yep.
Pauline, you know, this may be those type of pullers that will be probably heavier on the competition.
Have you
Yeah.
spoken to Justin? Well, has he been training very regularly? Is
I
he very
mean,
focused?
you know, yeah, he's very focused, but
Hmm.
I am not. I'm very busy. I don't really like. But as far as I see, Devon said that Giannis is gonna win. Justin made a video and told him that he should be part of the Team East from now on. That, as far as I remember, that you know.
So let me put it another way, okay? I believe that Justin came into the Mindaugas match. That I believe that was the best of the Bama Bowl. I believe that was a very focused Justin and a very strong man.
I think not really. I think this one right now is better than that one.
Mate, well, you've basically just gone where I was going in a different way. I believe that Justin Bishop mentally probably wants this match more than any. I believe for many reasons. I believe that Justin probably would want this match within himself more than any other. I think this one matters big time. So if there's a match out there that gets Justin out of bed, I would expect this is it. I would expect we'll see a very strong version of him.
Yeah, I think that Giannis is the one with more experience, and I think that Justin needs to be stronger and make sure that Giannis won't have any opportunity to use his experience.
The
Anyways,
weight concerns me a little for Justin, if I'm honest.
yeah, but if you see him,
If he's
you
big.
wouldn't think that he lost weight.
Did he say where his weight was?
I don't know, but if you would just see him, he looks really big, really big.
That worries me a little if he's got to drop a lot of weight because we're only like what
No,
2
no,
weeks away.
I think he doesn't have to. I think his weight is like 79 or something.
Okay.
But
Yeah, if he's close to the weight,
yeah,
I think Justin will be the physically stronger man. Physically stronger man. And I'm sure he's aware there's some traps there.
yeah.
Great
Anyway,
match.
so
Love it.
Neil, let's go to the next one. Alexandra Ozerova versus Elizabeth.
I mean,
I don't know how to pronounce his name. You, as an English guy, you would know better.
I'm very excited about this match because I think Elizabeth really was a little bit rabbit in the headlights and was trying to punch above her weight her first time out at East versus West. I think this is more within her, and also I think that she is probably evolved a little bit, more comfortable. It's in her home country. Having said that,
Çay var mı?
yeah, I'm probably going to go Elizabeth, but close.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know though. I don't know. Alexander, when she's at her best, is solid. So
Okay.
arm
Now
wrestling ability, Alexander. Elizabeth,
go ahead.
probably stronger.
Yeah. Yeah. Alexandra, I think maybe more technical.
I think is more technical, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Alexander's one of those girls that doesn't really get the respect she. You know what? I'm going to change that. I'm going Alexander. I'm going Alexander in the long grass. So I believe that Elizabeth is dangerous early because of the power. I think she's just a stronger girl. But I think that Alexander's got a solid pronator and can hang the match up very effectively from a losing position. And I think she could come back and win in the long grass. So I'm going to
I
go
mean,
close
sometimes
match.
when you are
Alexander
strong,
will win.
you can repeat the same thing 3 times as well, but we will see. I mean,
Yeah.
so I don't know. Okay, let's go to this match. I'm very curious about your opinion. Very, very curious. Probably this is the one that I'm the most curious about your opinion.
Okay.
It is Spider-Man versus Craig Tuller.
Wow. I mean, look.
Tom Holland.
Yeah, everybody knows that this is a match I've tried to make 5 or 6 times. We've wanted this in Arm Wars forever. And the reason why is because it is truly magnificent. You've got 2 violent arm wrestlers at the table.
A lot of
Really,
people, says that Craig is heavily favored
no, he's not.
because he's not.
No, he's not. He's not. I don't think
don't
so.
you don't you think that like Craig would be like? Am I making a wrong calculation by thinking that Raymond's beat Tom, and then Craig would probably be better than Raymond's and no
Different time, different weight, different place, different Tom. And I genuinely believe that Tom sometimes in matches has taken risks that he didn't need to take, and he takes them knowingly, puts himself in harm's way. And I don't believe that he's going to do that here. I think he is very respectful of what Craig represents and how dangerous Craig is. Don't get me wrong, both these men can finish the match early. Both these men can finish the match early.
early. You,
Yes.
you think there is a possibility Tom to dominate Craig?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought that maybe a long war would go to
I think
Tom's
it
way.
probably will end up being a long war, but I think both men can win early. Both men can flash. If you look at the match we were talking about a moment ago with Tom and Ryman's, Tom ran Ramones over a couple of times, and then it turned into a career-ending dogfight match. And this could go the same way. Craig could flash Tom. Craig is such an aggressive hit and second hit. Two hits. The Fury hits twice. And that can catch a lot of people out because he's so aggressive and he hangs onto his knuckles. He can keep his knuckles so high. That's a problem for a taller guy like Nanastad, for example. And he encountered those issues with Craig. Tom's a little different because he doesn't shy away from supinate effective at finding their position in the match and not panicking is most likely to win. I've got Tom as a very slight favourite. Very slight favourite. I think the thing that works against Tom is that it's in America. I think that when you travel overseas, I've said this many times when the guys have come over to Istanbul, they've come over to the UK for Arm Wars, they come to PAL in Poland. It is more difficult when you travel overseas, and I think just the environment, the sleep patterns, and the other little nuanced things can create a problem. And when a match is very finely balanced, as I believe this one is, that favours Craig. So if both guys come in and they're 100% on their money, I would say Tom by a gnats, very, very close. In the scenario we're in Florida, with the humidity, the heat, and all those things, which Craig is very used to, less travel, I think Craig edges the favourite. In reality, I think Craig will start as a favourite. So I would say Craig 55-45 favourite.
Okay.
If the
Uh,
match happened in England or Turkey, Tom 55-45 favourite. And this is a match I think hopefully it delivers on what I think it can. And we see these guys more than once.
I don't know. I don't know, my friends. I travel to America. I travel to Canada. I won wars everywhere. You know, just I mean, if you are just going there 3 4 days earlier, you know, and I think that like that's enough. The Western team 13 events in a row. If you also count King of the Table for 24 events, they came to do East, and they many times were successful. Devon won the title, Pauline won the title, Tata Shinks won the title. You know, just I don't know. Anyway, so let's
Let
go
me
to
just
the
break that down a little, Engin. Okay, here
what's
we
that?
go. Let's break that down a little. When you travel
Because
abroad,
whenever you said that if this match was in England, he would win. Now in Florida, then he win. So
no, not would win, would
it
be the
sounded
favourite.
like never like okay, the winners are like never winners. It's just because the match is there.
No, that's not how it's meant at all, mate. Let me put this another way. When you travel to America, you
Yeah.
traveled there to win. Singular focus. Did nothing else. Didn't go out, didn't drink, didn't party, didn't do anything. Okay?
Hmm.
You're like Yanis Amelins.
Hmm.
Tom Holland ain't that guy.
But he
I
has
love
to
Tom.
be. If he's going there, if he's taking this match seriously, he shouldn't be
He
doing
is
this.
not the supreme for he's not going to go and get
I mean,
drunk or
if
do
he's
anything like
not
that.
that guy,
He's
then
just not that guy.
he wouldn't be the same guy. Still like he wouldn't be that guy in England or in Istanbul either. So what I'm just saying, the time start of the event 1 p.m. is exactly the same time in Istanbul
Hmm.
8 p.m. like 7 hours difference. Every time we start 8 p.m. there, it is 1 p.m. in like East Coast. So we're gonna start 1 p.m. the same as it is 8 p.m. in Istanbul. I mean, I don't see like he comes like 3 days earlier. I think everything will be fine. If Craig wins, Craig wins. If Tom wins, Tom wins. But whatever. Because
Hey,
you did
let me be very clear here. Whoever wins deserves to win. What I'm telling you is what I predict as nuance within the match. These are the realities of arm wrestling, the reality of things that can affect an arm wrestler, an individual arm wrestler. I know both these guys very well, and I give Craig a favourite when he's not travelled the same distance, when he's used to the heat and the humidity. You've been to Florida, right, in summer?
once.
Bloody hot and bloody humid.
Yeah.
Craig lives in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
matters.
Anyway, so let's go. We have so many matches, and do you know Ryan? I don't know how to pronounce
Bellinger.
Bellinger.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay. He's gonna pull Raymond's. And Ryan is 97, 98 kilo guy who's making 95. And
Yeah.
today I talked with Raymond, he's around 87, but I think he can be 90 kilo. I like Raymond is my friend. Like we work even together, at the East versus West. But I kind of see him as underdog. If he beats Ryan, I will be surprised.
Yeah. I can't say I know enough about Ryan to know what threat level. He's a much bigger guy. I I feel like he will need to be way, way, way stronger than Ray to be able to beat Ray over the multiple uh, over the multiple rounds. I think Ray is a very awkward man to beat. I think
Mhm.
his ability to stick people into horrible positions and outlast them is his key primary weapon. I think that's what makes him so tough to beat. I genuinely don't know what Ryan is about in that respect. If whether this is a guy that can do that, can get into horrific matches and come out on top, I don't know. I don't want to discredit the guy or say that that can't happen when it might. Maybe there are certain guys like, let's say, Adam Wojcinski, who you say, okay, how does that guy perform if he's in a very long, drawn out match? I would always think that in most instances, it's better for him if the match goes longer. I think he's got incredible, like Vrez would be another guy. So if a match goes long,
Rez is
a weirdo.
one like is just different. Just Rez is just like very different. Like
Yeah. And maybe Ryan Bellinger loves it. Maybe Ryan that's where he wants to be. You know? I mean, let put it this way. Am I talking bullshit or are they not on the same team? Aren't Ryan and Adam like on the same team?
yeah, Hunter as well. Chad Silver's,
Yeah.
yeah.
So let's say, for example, and I don't know, I'm just painting scenarios here, right? So let's say, for all I know, Ryan and bloody Adam every Wednesday night at practice
Probably they
have
are playing for 10 minutes.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe they do. So I can't tell you. I can't sit. It's like Hunter. I can't sit here with authority and say, "Oh yeah, Ray's going to outlast Ryan." I don't know. Ryan's a bigger guy.
I don't
He's
know. I saw
training
I
with
saw I saw his matches.
monsters.
I just checked his matches. The guy is seriously strong.
Powerful.
And also, yeah, he's I saw his wrist, quick wrist move. Also, I saw his endurance. Like, he once he's out, he can also wait and outlast the guys. I'm not gonna mention the matches.
Yep.
Yeah, but the guy is strong, and he can pull tough matches. That is what I
See,
saw. I know
I
the
Ryan
same
for
thing for
me.
Ray. If this match was 85 kilo match, I would just say Ray. But
Yeah.
this category,
So
I,
what is
I,
Ryan actually weighing? Like 95, you're saying?
I think somewhere I read he's losing 3 4 pounds or something. So he's
Okay.
probably, just say, 97 kilo. Probably he's probably 212, 213 or something pounds.
And unless I'm wrong, and if you can see the chat, somebody in the chat may know, right? But I thought that Ryan and Adam are the same crew with Chad. So he's pulling Silvers, who's a frigging beast. He's pulling Adam. He's pulling Hunter. God knows who else is in that team that's a beast as well. So the guy is pulling with stupid strong arm wrestlers all the time, as is Ray. Both guys have got iron to sharpen iron. So if all those things are relatively equal, then you would expect the bigger man to have a big advantage. The key thing which I wish I knew more about Ryan was simply the endurance thing. If I knew more about that, and if Ryan was extremely confident in that respect, then he may be a favourite. I don't know that, so I'm going with my boy Ray.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Ray in a war,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't think Chad's team, Ryan himself, while I don't know Ryan, I've seen Ryan pull, and what I've seen of him, he looks very capable. I don't think he would come into this thinking he's not going to win. I think he's coming in here knowing, and let's be honest, it's not like there's a shortage of footage out there on Ray Lipinge. He knows what he's facing. He knows the level he's facing. So I figure Ryan's coming in here knowing exactly what he needs to do. Clues in the title. He's called the Bull, isn't he? So I'm sure the guy's rock strong, and I think it's going to be a
Neil,
war.
you have been part of WAL long time, and you
Hmm.
know Paul Talbot. And
Yeah, very well.
I heard that right now he is in incredible shape. From other side, we know Reg, incredible.
Yeah.
And the question is, like, many people says that no matter where the match stops, Rez wins. They say.
Hmm.
Do you agree with this, or you think that it can also depend on which position the athletes have?
Oh, it can definitely depend on which position the athletes have. If the very best of Paul Talbot shows up, there are times in his career when I know that he would have given Vrej major problems on that left arm. Definitely. There are times when he would have given him problems. Paul has been quiet. I haven't seen a great deal of him, and I don't know where he's at focus wise.
I heard that
Um,
he's training with Dave Chaffee and he's doing some good things.
incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Mate, I remember in Atlantic City with the WAL. And that day there, Paul Talbot was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Very, very, very strong. If that guy shows up, we got a match. You look at the thing on paper, and Cedric Khan's he can go forever. Frez is a frigging weirdo. He
Mhm.
can go. He doesn't seem to get miles on the clock. I mean, back in the days in the 75 kilo class, he was
Mhm.
in there for hours in matches, stupid long matches. So, based on endurance, my favourite in the match would be Rej. If the best of Paul Talbot shows up, it's on.
Okay. Okay. So let's move. Aymeric versus Jonathan Breda.
Ooh. Ooh, that's interesting.
Lately,
I'm going Amrik. I'm going Amrik Pradines.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm going to go Amrik. I got Amrik 60-40.
okay.
Yeah. I think Amrik is very, very strong. Very, very strong. I think Breeder's powerful lad. But I think when Amrik shows up on fire, I think he's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
This is a left-handed match, isn't it?
Yes, left arm.
Yeah. I've got Amrik.
Both gentlemen have stronger left than the right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I may have that completely wrong. Jonathan Breeder's a bad dude. But
Right now, he's doing that powerlifting stuff,
yep.
and what he says and what other people says that he is in incredible shape.
Yeah, he will need to be because, yeah, Amrik is a bad man. He really is. Bad dude.
Okay. And so let's move. Corey West versus Travis Badgens, left arm.
Oh, God. Put it this way. You know, the last time we were together in Istanbul, I said I was of the impression that we hadn't seen an acid test yet for Travis on his favorite arm, on the left arm. Well, we're about to. This is a much more stern test than Derek, who's better on the right by a long way. This is a very stern test. This is a great match. Incidentally, Engin, this is a great match. I mean, this is a great match. If people are looking to see the best matches between guys that are genuinely interesting, this is one of those matches. Because I consider myself very knowledgeable on the sport of arm wrestling. And I love this match because it tells us so many stories. It answers a lot of the questions about the pecking order in North America, both domestically and internationally. People wanted to see, where is Travis at? I feel like it's quite a brave match for Travis, this. I feel like stylistically, the match when he's at his best would suit him. I feel like he would be a heavy favourite in his own mind here. But this is no bum. Corey's very, very strong, and Corey will be looking to get tied to Travis, and Travis will welcome that. So I think we have the opportunity to see the best of both men here. And Travis has a lot of pressure here, doesn't he, really, when you think? Because he kind of can't afford another misfire, and particularly on this arm. Now, the reality of the situation is, for myself, for you, we know that there is no misfires here because everybody who's pulling on the card is a killer. Everybody. If you're on this card, you're an animal. Just to be on the card. But Travis is a perfectionist. Travis is someone who wants to win, wants to entertain, wants to excite the crowd. He's going to want to win, and he's going to want to win impressively. And this is a very difficult man to put away quickly. Corey is no bum. Based on nostalgia, based on an awareness of where Travis's residual level on the left arm was, I'll go with Travis as the favourite. And for Travis's sake, and also in some respects, the sake of arm wrestling, I would love to see that come to fruition and Travis get something in this match. Win, lose, or draw, I'd like to see him perform well. Make it into a match. If Travis does well here, for me, it's a win. If he does well here, it's a win for him because I think Travis is trying to pick up the gauntlet and set off running when he hasn't warmed up. And he's pulling some, but I mean, Kalinachenko, who he just arm wrestled right-handed, that is a very strong, very formidable opponent.
Kalnishenko next match will be someone from top 10.
Yeah, Kalinachenko is mega strong, mate. Mega strong.
Yeah.
Very powerful lad. Now, Travis on the left arm is a very different arm wrestler to the right arm. Very different. And as you know, when Travis was at his best on the left arm, he was magnificent to watch. Lethally effective on the left arm. Lethally effective.
Yeah, guys, tomorrow Levan Saginashvili will be my guest, and Next day, Saturday, Oleg Petrenko will be my guest. And Monday,
Fantastic.
Hermes Gasparini will be my guest. And so let's go to the next one. Lars versus Matt Mask.
Whoa, a match we've seen before in
Is this the
Vegas.
one that you organized many years
Yes,
ago?
yes.
Yeah.
Right now, I would think that the favorite would be Matt. I think he has a great deal of pace. I would expect that, however, there has been a lot of learnings here. I think that both men will know exactly what they face now more than they ever have before, not just from their own experience at the table, though that does play a part, but they've also had the opportunity to watch each other win and lose and know where the weaknesses are. And I think if I was Lars, I wouldn't come in here and play for height at all. I would come here and make sure you maintain your arm position. You may throw some pronation in there, but don't climb for height. Just pronate and hold on, and then look to get into the press. The other alternative is press from the start. And it's whether he's got the bravery to do that against someone as venomous as Matt. I've got Matt as a favourite, 60-40. Very
Matt?
intriguing match. Matt Masker's favourite, 60-40. Very intriguing match. And I think I would be actually surprised if this turns into a screaming battle. I think that both men will try and finish the other one, and both men will go for moves which will neutralize their opponent quickly. I think Matt will be looking to just decimate the thing, put it to bed really quick, and I we'll see which style of arm wrestling Lars chooses. I think it would be a mistake to try and back pressure with Matt. I think if he does that, he must do it from a low position on the hand. Pronate very hard, but don't try and climb up high. I think if you climb up high with Matt, you're going to lose your hand and wrist, and I think Matt will take him to school if he does that.
Another one. Frank Lamparelli versus Dave Chaffee.
Wow. Holy shit. Wow. Dave Chaffee has one weapon that really serves him in this, and it's side. It's the pressure. It's the side pressure. He's got tremendous side pressure if the brakes go on.
But lately, this as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he pressed Laletin with dead wrist.
Yeah, I would say that Dave is a 60-40 favourite or slightly more. This is what we were talking about earlier with the sort of acid test scenario. Very much the acid test for Frank here. This would be great. Can you imagine if Frank comes in and wins this? The pressure here for Dave is significant as well, because Dave's had a couple of losses. He'll really want to get one on the board here, particularly in America. Particularly in America. Yeah, I've got Dave 60-40 favorite.
Okay. And let's go. Kamil Yablonski, Michael Todd.
What a match, mate. Oh, holy shit, what a match. Wow. Listen.
See, this match is good enough to confuse you, right? Because you see so many possibilities. What if
Oh,
goes there? What if goes
God.
there? What if Michael does the shoulder pressure first and effectively? What if he cannot? What if he goes to the open arm top roll? And then, like, so many possibilities.
So many. Exactly that, mate. An absolute myriad of possibilities here. And the other one, and in my opinion, the most important one here, is the mind games, the mental side of this match. Is massive. Because Michael sometimes gets caught in two minds. What he needs to do. He needs to have absolute clarity here. He needs to have absolute clarity here. Because one thing I'll tell you about Kamil Jablonski, that man is utterly and completely fearless. He does not care whether he wins or loses. He will throw the kitchen sink at you. I'd love to see Michael come in with that same confidence. I'd love to see Michael come in and try to prove that he is the stronger man in the match and come in with the swagger. Bring the monster. Bring that guy. Let's see this. Because if that guy shows up, holy shit, what a match. What a match. This will be awesome. That could easily be match of the night for so many reasons. I think it'll be very emotional. I think it'll be another extremely explosive affair. I'd love to see these guys go just straight at each other. No finesse. Don't try and walk hands. I actually think it's a mistake if Mike does that. If Mike tries to get around Camille, I think it's a terrible idea. I would meet him head on and see who's fastest finger on the trigger. Because that's what this comes down to. Who gets to the position first? Who's the fastest finger on the trigger?
Yeah.
Great match. Love it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to Prudnik versus Tatachins. Do you think that this time things may be different?
I mean, the romance of things says yes. The fact that Todd has been as powerful as he has recently says yes. You just wonder how much confidence, how much mental mapping and experience Yevgeny Prudnik has now. He's been down this road before with great success, and he's found a route through Todd. And with a guy who's as good an arm wrestler as Yevgeny is, that always gives him a chance. What I would say is that I don't believe that right now we are seeing the best of Yevgeny Prudnik. I don't think this version of Yevgeny is as strong as we've seen.
No.
If Todd Hutchins is going to beat Prudnik, it's now. He has a huge opportunity right now where I believe that Todd is comparatively the athlete in better shape. I think if you look at the guys, he is in. It's a better version of Todd than it is version of Yevgeny Prudnik. I think Yevgeny Prudnik's a bad style.
Do you think that Prudnik will go to Orlando in the same shape that he showed up in Istanbul against Irakli?
I don't think he's got enough time to correct it, Engin. To that extent. I think he'll go in great shape. I think he'll go in the best shape he can. Do I believe he's in the best shape? No. Do I believe that he can make a very significant difference in the time that he had available? No. Do I believe he needs to be as strong as he needed to be to put the brakes on Irakli? Actually, no. I think that he will know there are some routes through Todd that he can access, and I think he'll go straight to them. And he may be strong enough to make it stick. He may be strong enough to make them stick. But I think Todd's got a better chance right now than he's ever had. I think based on what I've seen of Yevgeny recently, his size, his shape, his confidence, his amount of just physical. You can see when he's on. You can see when he's ready. You can see when he's at his very best. And I don't believe we're seeing that now. Just looking at his forearm. When that guy shows up and his forearm's just fit to burst, that's a bad man.
I don't know. Sometimes 5 weeks maybe enough to change.
Who've you got?
I see 50-50.
Yeah, I'm going to go 60-40.
If I knew that the Prudnik that pull Irakli is gonna be facing Tatachins in Orlando, then I would say probably 60-40 Tat.
Yeah.
But I know that it's not gonna be the same Prudnik, so it's probably 50-50.
I'll go in based on that and the fact that you're so in touch with these guys and speaking to them. I'll go 55-45 in favor of Toddzilla. Yeah, I think Todd by a margin, by a slight margin.
Okay, so let's go. Jerry Cadoret versus Alex Kurdesha.
I mean, what a match!
You
What
go
a
ahead.
match!
I listen to you. You tell me.
Listen, this match is wonderful, isn't it? I mean, what an incredible match that is. You've got a genuine rising superstar in Alex Cadecia, who is super focused, becoming better, stronger, more well-rounded all the time. So what do you throw in front of him? The most awkward possible opponent in Jerry Caderet, who is inimitable. You cannot replicate what this man does. You look at where Alex may have a weakness because of the size of the man, the length of his arm, the manner in which he pulls, his ability to get close and tight. And it's probably what Jerry does best. So this is an intriguing match for a number of reasons. And one thing it does do for me is it creates a situation where Alex Cadecia has to be a bully here. He would have to come into this match and make sure that he doesn't allow Jerry to access the shoulder. If he starts on the B side or tries to go straight back, he's going to have a very, very difficult day. If, however, he can move off center, and there's two things I'm going to mention here. We're going to speak in a moment about the proximity of knowledge, training with people. The fact that Hermes is so in touch with Alex and that little crew, and they speak about the nuance of how you get through a guy. I am sure a lot of conversations will have taken place there between my friend and Alex. You know, they're going to have spoken about this, and Alex is very astute, diligent. He's going to try to drill that and to try and emulate what we saw from Hermes. Now, singularly focused and extremely committed. You would have to say that we will probably get a really good indication in the first round of how this match is going to go. Whoever is able to make the running in the first round, I find it very difficult to imagine that the other guy, particularly if it's made by Alex, I think it will be very difficult for Jerry to sort of reverse his fortunes after that. I think both men have got to bully their opponent. Both men have got to shut out the light. If I was Jerry, I would box Alex in from the get-go. I would not want him to have any breathing room. I would make sure that he didn't have access to my wrist line. I would try and keep him off that. I'd sacrifice hand. I'd feed him everything he needed, make him feel at home and comfortable, and then drop a house on him. If I was Alex, I'd be trying to access that wrist line. I'd be trying to make sure that I was making center my own, keeping Jerry outside that shoulder line, taking a step left, straightening up that lower palm. And when I hit, I wouldn't just be going backwards. I would be moving the arm and to make sure that he moves Jerry palm up and onto the B side as early as possible. Fascinating match, can go many ways.
Mhm.
I think
I remember one round, Gennady wanted to go that way, and then Jerry pressed him down in hook.
yes, I think you cannot go backwards. If you go straight backwards, you got a problem. And
No,
listen,
no,
Alex,
Gennady wanted to go inside and then side, but
mate,
then the
that
Jerry
that
just
that's an
press
option
him
for
down.
Alex.
Huh?
That's an option for Alex. To meet him in the center, to meet him bang on center, that's an option for Alex. Alex is a very big, very strong man. He doesn't have to run. Don't run. Either go through or towards. Jerry will welcome towards. Jerry would love Alex to run. If Alex runs, you're going to see a similar situation to what we saw when Alex pulled against Krasimir back in the day in an amazing match. Because it's very difficult for a man as big as Alex to maintain the correct body positioning if they're opened and extended. One of the downsides of size is it can be a little too much. I would love to see both these guys be brave and try and bully their opponent, and I hope that's what we see. Alex is a very aggressive, super quiet guy off the table. That is a very big man, a very, very strong man, and he's a rising star. I'm predicting that if he sticks with this game and becomes more technically diligent, Alex is one of the biggest threats to the overall title, possibly the biggest threat, alongside Laletin, that we've got in the sport right now. I think he's very dangerous puller.
Okay, John Berzing versus Leonidas.
Oh my God, John Brzezinski. Whenever I pick against John proves why he's John. John's ability to take his opponent's hand and wrist when he's at his best and when he's focused is remarkable. If this was John when he's focused and at his best, the match I don't believe would be close. But I think right now, my biggest concern is how much does John want to arm wrestle now? How focused and diligent is John? I believe when he pulls someone like Leonidas Arcona, he is pulling an ultra professional, ultra committed, and improving arm wrestler. I think Leonidas is taking arm wrestling more seriously than we think. And I think this is a genuine athlete. I think he's a very intelligent guy. I think he's right there. He's studying hard. He's making gains all the time. And he's in the peak of his career. He's right there in terms of physicality. He is not, however, polished, and he will not shut down the gaps. So you've got a situation where John may find gaps and may prove again why he's the best of all time. And that he is. I would love to tell you that based on physicality, Leonidas Arcona is going to win this match, and everything in if you look at your head tells you Leonidas will win. He's too strong, he's too powerful, and he wins this match. I'm going to go with John Brzezinski. And I'm going to go with John Brzezinski because I believe that he has the ability to do what he has no right to do and upset the apple cart at a time when he definitely shouldn't. And right now, he definitely shouldn't. I bet if I rang John now and said, "Oh, have you been committed? Have you been training?" He'd be like, "No." "Have you been doing anything?" "No." He really wouldn't have done. And yet, he's not cut from the same cloth as most men.
Can I ask you something? Yeah, we finished all the predictions, and
Can I ask you, who've you got? John or Leonidas?
it totally depends on John's shape. Yeah, totally. I mean, if it was if we were in like if it was like 2006 John, I wouldn't even set this match. People, yeah, yeah.
I'm a fan of Leonidas
Yeah.
Arcona. As a man, I think he's a very, very astute guy. He's chasing hard and he's on the rise. I think he's dangerous for a lot of people, and I think he's improving. My only concern for him is that early in the schoolboy match, he left some holes. I think that schoolboy panics a little. I think he sometimes can talk himself out of matches. He's a young guy. And I think that John, if he's given those same positions, will capitalize on them.
Mhm.
And
I,
will
I,
take away the rest.
I have two questions. The first one
Okay.
is very hard one. The best of John Berzing versus current Mindaugas. Tough one, huh?
Mindaugas, who is the, I mean,
Mindaugas, right?
obviously Mindaugas.
Mindaugas,
I
right?
mean,
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to disrespect Mindaugas, just.
top three, all right? You've got
Uh,
Mindaugas, who's just a regular goat, right?
uh-huh.
You've got John at three, who based on everything else.
Yeah.
And then at number one, I mean, it's Tesh.
Oh, Danny Tesh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
All
so
time.
the
All
the,
time.
the, 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 the serious question now. Have you ever met anyone who has been part of arm wrestling at high level for at least 20, 30 years? Just say since 90s or since 2000s, especially since 90s till today. Like some arm wrestler or some referee or some organizer, like someone that who really knows about arm wrestling. Have you ever seen anyone who thought that someone else is the GOAT, but not John Brzezinski?
No.
Like, have you seen any single person, like, just say, like, anyone from the past till today, but someone who knows arm wrestling? I'm not talking about some new guys or something. Yeah,
No.
do you know where the problem is? That they look at 6 years old men and they are saying, "Oh, in his time, like arm wrestling was easy," and then that is why he was. Listen, I'm not saying that he would beat Levan or something. No way. But I'm telling you, like he would destroy. Just say that put him in this hard 105 kilo category or 115 kilo category. Just Ivan Matushenko, for many years he competed against John Brzezinski. Gennady competed. Of course, they were not as big as they are today, but even those guys that were really big at that time, John, around like those 2006, 7, you know, 8, just he was just
Yeah.
literally playing with them. So
John in 2006
I
was.
don't say this to disrespect those new guys, who thinks that Johnny wasn't the goat or something like this. It is just like I'm trying to help them to understand. Neil, how old I am right now? 50 years old. Yeah.
Mm.
And can you imagine the damage I have because of the arm wrestling from neck, from back, from the arms and elbows? Like just like only 3 years ago. Do you remember my
Mhm.
shape when I pulled Viorel Dobrin?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like you would guess that it would be a good match, that shape versus just say Samusha, don't you
Hmm.
think? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
So what I just
stylistically
yeah,
interesting match.
yeah, and
Strengths of one athlete versus strengths of another athlete.
yeah.
And this is where we talked about it a moment ago. John has one horse in that he's got one dog in this fight, okay? He's got one horse in this race, and it's the hand and wrist. For so long, John has been able to isolate and better opponent's hand and wrist,
Yeah.
create problems, and then transition smoothly. That is the only thing he's got in this match. If it comes down to arm, Leonidas. If it comes down to
Oh,
general health and
you're talking
mobility,
about this match. You're talking
Leonidas.
about this recent match. Yeah. I mean, the matches
But
that we have with John today, I just think that we are lucky to see the man still. But this man,
very
and then the man, just say from 2006 Vegas, just to talking about just
different thing.
maximum 60% of that guy, you understand?
Yes.
So yeah, so what I just try to say when I say like my shape only 3 years ago, like, so I just try to tell you that, like, people who thinks that, like, arm
Yeah.
wrestling was easy in the past or something like this, like, I mean, like, you and I, we talk, like your prime, my prime, we would like to pull against Samusha, but we wouldn't want to
Yes.
pull against 2001 Fazino. That just
Hmm.
toppling him is just like just trying to like hit a wall or something.
Yes.
So
Styles make matches.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
there's guys. There's guys
Just
there's
think
always
about
guys that are going to be at the top.
this. Just think about this. Cobra in his prime
Hmm.
versus
Yeah.
Mindaugas. Does Mindaugas have even a slight chance? I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
Yeah. So what I just try to say that, like just don't be like, don't look at the calendar and think
Hmm.
that 20 years ago people were just so weak and this and that. No, they were not. They were not.
No, you. I mean,
But
you gotta get. We haven't talked about John Walker. Johnny Walker, who's going to be over in Florida. I can't. Wow, what a beast that man is! What an absolute beast that man is! That was such a strong man. So powerful. Unbelievably strong. Yeah, I could sit here and talk all day about guys that are underrated that were dangerous arm wrestlers.
Neil.
So
There
many.
is one guy, one silly guy. His name is Battery Juice. He says
Right.
Neil has to be careful here so that he doesn't lose his job. When you talking, just say about my arm wrestling abilities, you giving me a favor right now, right?
No, I'm just telling you the bloody truth. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
I just to be clear, I have been friends with Engin for literally 30 years in this sport. All around the world, we would go and speak about arm wrestling for hours, and everybody going to bed, we'd be there talking in reception about matches, spinning scenarios. Why? Because we like doing it. We just did it. That's what we've done for many, many years. And I know Engin inside out. I've watched his career. I know Andrew Rhodes. I know Andreas Rundstrom, Svetan Gashevsky, Jan Germanis, Iva Quintaras. All these guys, you see them, you watch them, you know. The things they affect the individuals. Sometimes they're based on circumstance and how you've watched that athlete perform over years. With Giannis Amelins, I don't believe you're going to see the very best of Giannis Amelins. I don't believe Giannis is at his best or can get to his best right now. But within Giannis, you have got a technical master who is an extremely versatile, extremely technically articulate, and intelligent arm wrestler. And that is what makes him so dangerous. That's why he's always in the match. And with Engin, I watched Engin come from the 55 kilo class, 60, 65, 70, 75. And in that period of time, I watched him pull against people like Ron Bath. And not Ron Bath now, not Ron Bath when he's in the twilight of his career, Ron Bath when he was a peaking bad mother and still give problems. Watched him pull guys like Eric Waffel. Eric Waffel is a goddamn giant. Giant man. And I've watched what could be done from a 65 kilo, 70 kilo Engin.
63.
Standing at the practice table and watching Engin decimate big guys around the world, and I'm turning around away from the practice table, look you in the eyes and be like, what the fuck? And you're thinking, yeah, it's savage little twat, isn't he? That's what it's based on. It's based on experience of what I was there to witness around the world against killers, week in, week out, year in, year out. That's what it's based on. Simple as that.
Yeah, there is somebody is asking. Maybe with a few words, you can explain. He is asking why John is the goat. He is asking.
The most versatile and the most long-lived career. The fact that the man is not an unusually large individual. I've seen John compete in one weight class above me in the 85 kilo class when I was pulling in the 75s and then 80s in various competitions around North America. Even as recently as 97, John pulled in the 85 kilo class at Idaho in the main event. 85 kilo class. Not a big man. And yet, I also saw him contest matches against Eastern European monsters and they didn't want to come in the hook with him. I watched him pull guys like Rustam Babayev when Rustam was an absolute monster, and basically allow Rustam to go wherever he wanted to go, take the match into the position that he wanted to be, just so that John could experience the best of Rustam. And then when I'm sharing a room with John that night, listen to him laid on his bed having a beer and say, that's really something. That guy hits like a truck. I fed him, not in a braggadocio way, just tell you the facts of the matter that he let the guy go where he wanted to go. And then he'll do the same thing with Farid Usmanov, now Ferit Osmanli, in 2006, when at that time, Farid or Ferit now was a terrifying proposition, unbelievably strong, the best of the guy. And for you, I've seen John do that from the late 80s to the present day.
Neil, like we can
That's why.
talk about like the things that he has done, but there are some things that like you cannot really express by words. You just look at him, and then as someone who knows arm wrestling, you can see how smooth he arm wrestles,
Fluid.
like how
Yeah.
he dominates, how he, like, you can see like the person with the best hand control, and then somehow sometimes even he loses that, he still finds a way.
And he will find a way back into the match.
Yeah,
Transitions
you would
between
never
lanes.
expect that, like the way that Taras put him here, and
Hmm.
then him to just go sideways beating Kanai with the
And the
shoulder
level of
pressure.
comfort with which he does that is not
Yeah,
only physical and the physical attribute, it's also the mental. It's
yeah.
the courage under fire. So
I mean,
when the guy is in terrible position,
nobody,
still
no,
remains calm.
nobody knows arm wrestling more than he does at the
No,
table. At the
no,
table, you
no.
understand? I'm not talking about the gym training methods or something like this, but at the table, he's just like arm wrestling machine. He just
Yeah, it's the
whatever.
best.
Yeah, they're the best. And also, he is not only winning, and he's not only applying a technique. He's doing that so smooth, transition
Smooth,
smooth,
brave.
application smooth. You just watch him. Like we, Neil, like that is the truth. People think I'm extreme, including Devon, including yourself,
Oh, yeah,
myself, everyone. When John goes to the stage, we were just watching him like we saw an alien or something. When John is there, we were like all like hypnotized. Just watching him and just like
yeah.
amazed with what he's doing. Like he was
The
just
best of John
yeah,
is the best of arm wrestling. It's simple as that. The guy at his peak over decades has just been remarkable, phenomenal man to watch. His willingness to take on anyone and everyone at any weight, in any country, at any
Mhm.
time.
And
And
do
if
you
he
realize
wins, he
that? Do you
wins. If he
realize that
loses, he doesn't care.
this guy didn't really take a break? This guy was
No?
competing all over. He was competing all over, and you can't. Like right now, you see the athletes; they are pulling like 3 times a year or something. This guy was just, if there is a good event, he was going there and competing many weight categories.
Yeah.
In one year, he was competing many events, as long as
Hmm.
there is enough prize money award that is worth to go there and compete.
Hmm.
And this guy, just like what I'm just saying, that like you can't be all the time in good shape. And
No.
the guy was just going there and winning. The guy was going there and winning. Very seldom you see
And you
him
would
lose.
see guys go out and dominate. Guys who were a walking puzzle. They would go out and they would have a move, one thing that was killing everyone in their path. They would be so dominant and they would be beating people with absolute ease. And then John would pull with them and John would just make them look like a child, just totally neutralize them, just take everything away from them in a calm,
Mhm.
fluid, respectful manner. Unbelievable puller. And I've arm wrestled John many times when I've been strong, when I've been weak, and when I've been in between. And you can feel, you know what you're feeling. You know what you're feeling. And I'm telling you, something different.
Yeah, of course,
Something
it is
different.
all coordinated. You are arm wrestling with a
Oh,
computer. Yeah, it's a hand, but it's a computer.
timing.
Just go
Beautiful
to
timing.
Neil. Just go to 80s guys from 80s. Ask them who's the greatest arm wrestler. They'll
Mate,
say John.
look at John when John was an 85 kilo arm wrestler, and he's in incredible wars with Richard Lupkus.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, try and wrap your head around that, guys.
yeah,
If you knew what Richard was capable of, and you felt how big and imposing Richard is,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then you try to wrap your head around how the hell did he do that?
And Richard got injured on his shoulder while pulling him.
Yes.
That's why he quitted arm wrestling. So it was
And
like
years later,
prime Richard.
Richard comes back into the sport when he's been out of the game forever
20
and
years.
is an old man
Yeah.
and gives problems to Denis Saplenkov
Yes.
when Denis is 147 kilos.
And when he came back, it was 20 years later.
Yes,
So he wasn't his prime. So
not at all.
in
I
his
mean,
prime, John at 85 kilo.
at
Just
85 kilos.
can you imagine Samusha giving trouble to Richard Lawkins? Or just not Samusha, just Sasha. Just can you imagine the prime Richards?
I
Like do
mean,
you like
no
no way,
chance.
no way.
They
So
would have.
this
I mean,
guy,
he'd run him over like a train.
yeah,
He'd run him over. You
yeah.
know,
Of course. I mean,
John is a unicorn. He's a unique animal. He's something different. The best of John was the best of arm wrestling.
yeah. This is what
Simple.
I'm saying. There is like I don't understand that someone who is just like part of the sport for a few years. I respect everyone, and then come and say, "Oh, John, come on, man." Like I just look at those comments. I'm like, are you serious? I mean, like it doesn't sound humble, but I want to say like, what do you know? Like, what do you know? Have you been?
Fortunate enough to meet and be at close proximity to a number of um, high-profile individuals who definitely fall into that category. I mean, Eddie Hall, who I'm very close personal friends with, would be one. Conor McGregor would be another. Arnold Schwarzenegger would be another, who I've have a close proximity with, and the public persona of that person, Conor McGregor, very much the man you meet when you're not on a stage and you're not interviewing the guy and speaking to the guy publicly and in front of the camera, and the man you meet backstage when he's relaxed and calm. Conor McGregor is a very different man. Very different. It's Conor A, Conor B. They're a different person. Even Devon, different person. It's unusual. Sometimes people make reads from what they see in a snapshot, and that's the blessing and the curse of the spotlight, isn't it? You get a snapshot of a person, but you maybe don't know that person so well. You maybe think you know them better than you know them, but if you had more time under different circumstances, sometimes you can try to cram a great deal of information into something. I know I'm guilty of doing that. You want to throw so much information out that you become distracted and you don't join up what you want to say as well as you could, particularly when I mean, right now I'm tired. I've been started very early this morning, been working all day, been had treatment today, various other stuff, and you are getting a snapshot. And if somebody comes in and they judge you on that snapshot. They're going to get a different, they're going to take a different view. And that's sort of my fault for putting myself out here right now. But the benefit that we've got, mate, is we've had access to John very closely for a lot of years.
Yeah,
For
this
30
guy is
years.
just 60 years old, and people says, okay, but look at Tatachins, he's also 57, and he's still, good. Just it is not like that. It
Totally
is
different thing. Todd came into the sport very late.
Tatachin started arm wrestling when he was 35 years old.
36 or
Yeah, so he has been around for like just say like 23, 24 years maximum.
And Todd is awesome, by the way.
John has been around like probably 45 years.
Yes.
So
Oh,
what
yeah.
I just say that you don't only look at the age of the person, you look at the how much miles
Yeah.
you have on the engine. Just imagine this guy pull Clive Dean, Gary Goodrich, Richard Lapkus, Scott
Yes.
Norton, and Alan Karev, Erekle Gurshiani. He pulled like
Directly Dirkiani, my God, yeah.
yeah, he pulled against Alexei
The train
Voivoda. He pulled
driver.
against Ferit Osmanlı, Pushkar, Deniz. Like there is no single best arm wrestler. When I say single best, I'm not talking about the athlete at John's weight.
No.
We never enjoyed John pulling in his category. It was the most boring thing.
Yeah, because you just kill everyone.
John was 95 kilo, 90 kilo guy, and he was pulling against the super heavyweight best guys. And there
Yes.
has never been a time in arm wrestling that there was best guy and then John didn't pull. John pulled the best of
If
80s,
you look at that under
best
the
of
microscope,
90s.
yeah?
What's
How
that?
many guys in history could make that claim, Engin? How many guys in history could make the claim that they could pull and beat the best in the world when they were a middleweight? I mean,
There's no,
you could say that.
nobody. Listen,
No.
nobody has been dominant even in their category all career long. Even Devon's best years were after his 30s. Before his
Hmm.
30s, he was not best. He was like after 31, 32, then you saw his best. You're talking
Yep.
about John from 20s, age of 20, and then up to like late 2000s. In
Yeah.
his category, the man was very, very dominant. And still, for the super heavyweights, I'm telling you, you can't be pulling decades and be at your best shape all the time. You have so
And the other
many.
thing about John, okay, which I'm very aware of, is that John has been up and down in the sport in terms of his level of, what's the right way of putting this? Drive and ambition is probably the right way. And what I mean by that is, put yourself in his position, right? If you were John and you show up to a competition and you beat the piss out of everyone with ease, do you think that's going to motivate you to go and work your ass off and train and push yourself harder? No. And it didn't. And John would, his level would drop a little bit. When he was a young man, he was obsessed with arm wrestling and focused with arm wrestling. Different guy. Then the next chapter of his career, not as focused. When Pulling John was being filmed. So for those of us who were involved with the filming of Pulling John and we were at the competition, there was what you see on the film, and then there was the reality. And the reality, at that time, John was beat up, injured, down, not really interested in the sport that much, was really giving it a go around because of the film. Then after the film is done, then John has a little period of resurgence. And you see the guy that showed up in 2006, who was a focus John. But that just shows you what he's capable of when he committed. And yet in between that, he was still a very, very hard man to beat. 90% of people couldn't beat John, couldn't do nothing with John. Now think about that. That was 2004. We're now 2024. So that's 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Think about that. Incredible. For anybody in the chat.
And he was planning to quit arm wrestling. He had the elbow problems.
focus.
No,
I don't know.
no. I kind of lost my focus after 15 years.
I mean, it's hard, isn't it?
I mean, of course, like you, after a point, like you just think that, like, why am I doing this? You
Yeah.
understand?
What about you? It became and becomes an obsession, and you love it, and then you're chasing it, and then you're not sure why, and you think, wait a minute, what was I going to do? I was going to be world champion. Oh yeah, I am world champion. So what the fuck? Why are we doing this again? Why are we getting up
But
and
but
going
but
for a
listen,
run at
listen.
some point?
After a point, you again come back. Like I won my first Worlds in '94, and I won
Mm.
my last Worlds in 2018, both senior category. So it's 20,
I'm masters and senior.
to 20 24 years. After
Yeah,
me, only Zolev did 16 years.
yeah,
Yeah, and then
friggin' ridiculous.
Jan
But
Germanus did only 14 years.
if
Yeah.
you're talking about obsession in the sport, guys that are utterly and completely obsessed, I don't think there's anybody that's as obsessed from a competitive perspective. If we put in there who was the most obsessive, compulsive, 100% venom spitting mother fluffer there's ever been in this area, I think you take that title. I mean, the fact, just the stuff we saw from you the other day when it was like, mate, you've fallen down and crashed your head into a table. Maybe tomorrow night you shouldn't come. And I'm speaking to you on the WhatsApp and I'm saying, mate, don't come. And I'm saying to Emir, dude, don't let him come. And you're smiling. And I'm thinking, there's fucking no way that guy doesn't come. And sure enough,
I couldn't stay. I couldn't stay. Yeah.
I know. But it's like, it was kind of like you waste your time telling you don't come because you know you're going to come. You would come. Whatever. If you're physically conscious, we were talking, myself and Dev were talking that day. I said, he'll come tonight. You watch. There you were.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be a bit nuts, and you are definitely nuts.
It is about being on mission, you know. So
Mm.
I mean, I had to go and see that everything is okay, you know. So I couldn't just go and watch on pay-per-view, you know.
No, you wouldn't sleep. You wouldn't sleep if you. It probably was
Mm.
on reflection, probably the healthiest place you could be was in that room. Honestly, as long
Yeah,
as you're relaxed and sat down, probably the healthiest place you could be.
yeah,
Because if
because
you'd have been at the hospital, you would have been pissed off, getting angry, winding yourself up. It wouldn't do you any good.
yeah. In fact, I got angry with the doctor, and that's how I left hospital. I told her, you know,
Kick you
after
out.
they put the stitches on my head, and
Mm,
then I told them to take the stitches from the surgery upon the surgery,
mm.
and then she opened and she said that like it still have infection, they cannot take it, and then and then they didn't close it.
Yeah.
And I said, just, are you gonna close here? He said, oh, later a little bit, and I have things to do. I got so angry, and then
Doesn't sound like you, mate.
I just left the hospital. The here is open, you know, where the
So I'm going to
thing.
tell you a little story now, all right?
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you a little story. It made me laugh. So we were at East versus West, and one of the staff, who shall remain nameless for obvious reasons, he says to me, I made a mistake in something. I announced something I shouldn't announce, right? My error, my mistake. So I do this, and you're mad as hell, right?
uh,
So, and the guy comes over to me and he goes, "Whoa, Neil, are you not pissed off?" And I went, "No, why?" He said, "I can't believe Engin spoke to you like that. He shouldn't let him." And I said, "Mate,
who
you
said
know
this?
it."
Who said this?
I'm not going to tell you the guy because you get even angrier. But a guy comes over and he says that to me. He says, "You can't let him speak to you like that." And I said, "Yeah, I can." No, he shouldn't speak. And I said, "Mate, that's what Engin does. That's his fucking job. That is literally what it wouldn't matter if we were doing an event, if we were in a cafe in Italy, he'd still get that pissed off about anything. That's what he does.
It is not
You
about
can't
anything.
change the
It is.
guy.
I don't remember exactly what it is, but it is probably about the event. Like I feel myself responsible
No,
to
it was my
people.
fault. I made a mistake and
No, no,
I
no. I mean,
announced
but that
Russia.
is like whenever, listen, like whenever we are doing this, I am 100% tougher on
Yes.
myself than to anyone else. It is not personal. It is just like we need to do this correct, because that is why I came to the event as well, because I had to make sure that everything is going well, because people pay his money for pay-per-view, so we need to make sure that everything is okay, you
Hey,
know.
listen, mate. I would much prefer. So there's people in my life that I'm closer to and love more than anyone else. My family. Okay, so if I go downstairs now, my wife. I love my wife. I'm going to go downstairs, and if I've pissed my wife off, if I said I'm going to do something and I don't do it, my wife will go ape shit on me. She will get angry and she'll say, "Oh, she'll bust my ass," and I love that. I don't mind. I
But
might think,
listen,
shit.
listen. The conversation between us wasn't that bad.
No,
No,
mate,
no,
it wasn't that
no,
bad. It was just a
no,
little
no,
fire. But
no.
what I was saying to the guy was, you know Engin well, and he clearly must not do. But I said, look, if you know Engin well, Engin is the enigma of rage. He can't help that. That's what he does. He's been doing that for years. He once threatened to cut my fucking ears off. This is what happened. Well, actually, it was Andy Barker's ears you were going to cut off, but it was piss funny. I was still arguing, and we were going to go out loud. I'm going to cut your fucking ears off, and it's funny. That stuff. These are good memories. That kind of stuff you can't. If you walk past all that, if the whole thing's a garden of roses, where's the fun in life? People are supposed to be passionate about stuff. Get pissed off.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
but just listen.
care.
Many of those things are because of when we were young and like a little bit, how do you call, furry, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and you just go for it. And at the time, it was
that's
bloody
what it
good
is,
fun.
you know. Right now, like it's just, yeah, like many of the things I told you, you know, whenever I lost in '96 Virginia,
You're gonna cut your own arm off.
I wanted to cut my arms off, my hands off, because yeah, because I
Yeah.
lost. Yeah, so what I'm just saying, so it is basically just taking the things too seriously when you are on a mission, you know. But there is nothing personal, you know. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for understanding, and thanks for coming. You know, it has been more than 2 hours, 2 hours and 10 minutes, and
Holy
I would
shit.
talk with you probably 4 hours, but just we better not start another
No. I
subject.
bet people in the chat are going, get this guy off here.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Oh,
Anyways, Neil, thank you very much, my friend,
thank
and
you, mate.
I'm happy that you are part of what we are doing, and you are very important part, as I always say. And without you, a big piece is missing. And I'm glad that you exist in this community.
Thanks, brother. As I say, sorry to everybody in the chat that I've been away from the fix and from other stuff. Been a pretty shit few weeks. Really, really sucked. I've got a couple of funerals to attend in the next couple of weeks, and then I've got to
Mhm.
close that chapter and move forward. So I will be back, and I won't be at the King of the Table in September. Unfortunately, the date is the same as I'm doing the Giants Live Arena show in Las Vegas, but I will
When is it?
be.
When is the Las Vegas?
Well, originally I thought King of the Table was the 21st of September. That was
On
the date, but
28th.
it's now
Yeah.
moved. It's the 28th, and I'm
Yeah.
in Las Vegas for the World Deadlift Championships, the Giants Live. So I can't do King of the Table. I'm gutted about that. Very sorry about that, but
Mhm.
I'm contracted there. There's nothing I can do. But I will be at East versus West Orlando. I will be at East versus West November, and I will be at King of the Table December. That goes ahead, and yeah, all gears forward. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody in the chat for all the support, and thank you for those people who have messaged me privately. And yeah, I'm not dead. I'm still here.
You
Cheers, brother. Thanks for the
take
invite.
care of yourself, and yeah.
Soon, mate. Soon.
Soon. Yeah.
Bye bye.